This is thv11.
We're happy to welcome back Sarah Baxter with the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, here to talk about this week's Bird of the Week.
It's the blue-gray gnatcatcher. You heard me right. This bird is really tiny, I guess?
Yes, it's the blue-gray gnatcatcher.
Gnatcatcher. I keep saying catcher.
The gnatcatcher. And yeah, they're really small. They're about 3 to 5 inches long and only weigh about 5 grams.
How pretty
which is about how much a nickel weighs. So they're tiny, tiny, tiny little birds. And you can see they've got that blue-gray on their back and head and slightly darker wings with a little teeny thin black bill. And that white ring, which we call an eye ring, is a white ring around the eye. And that's a really good field mark for people to look at. And so this bird is going to be in mixed flocks with other small songbirds like titmouse and chickadees and things like that. And you know them when you see them because they never sit still. I mean, they're always just twitching and moving, and yeah. And the reason for that is because their diet is made up almost entirely of insects. And so what the theory is that when they're on the trees and in the shrubs and bushes and whatnot, they're twitching their tail constantly. And their tail is black, but it has white on the outside. So they're flicking that tail and opening it up, and that white and that movement scares the insects and makes them come out so that the gnatcatcher can eat them.
So it never moves, so it's kind of always hunting.
Yeah. Now, what about the female? What was the video that we had there? Was that of the male?
It's really hard to tell the difference between the male and the female. I didn't even realize that people think that you can. I've read some literature about them today that said, you know, that there is some people out there that say. But the pictures that y'all are seeing there, that black eye stripe on that one is so dark, and that's like a middle of the summer, middle of the breeding season, very, very, very adult male bird. So that's his big characteristic that kind of differentiates him from a female. The female won't have as dark of a black spot. But that black also, it kind of makes the gnatcatcher look angry. But these guys have a lot of personality, so they're always making noise.
They do look angry.
They make a lot of noise, and a part of their noise is like a chatter, and it just sounds like they're mad, and then they have that little look to them. So,
and where can you know, with the weather, as Sarah said, good weekend to go see them, but where can you find them around here?
Anywhere. These guys are super common. So they like deciduous forests or shrublands or bushes or a fence row or just a little area with a little cover in your backyard. They don't require anything super specific, and they nest here. So these guys are just arriving. I saw my first one of the season this morning in our backyard. So they don't mind the rain. They got to hunt still even though it's raining. So they're out and whatnot, but you might see their nest. They'll nest. I've got a nest here for y'all if you can see it. And their nest is really small with very high sides, and they make it out of spider webs and caterpillar silk, and they cover the outside with lichen and other natural materials. And the inside is super duper soft for the little babies. They lay about 4 or 5 eggs that are real pale blue with little brown speckles on them.
There's like a little egg in there, right? Or what's that?
There's a little eggshell in there. This is an old nest that someone found, and there's actually a piece of eggshell still inside of it. So anyway, but they're common nesters throughout the eastern U.S. and the southern U.S. and you know, you can really see them just about anywhere. So when you go out, just look for a little guy that cannot hold still, and it's very likely to be a gnatcatcher. And
might look angry, but it's not.
Right. That's right.
All right, thanks so much, Sarah. That's going to do it for this Bird of the Week with the blue-gray gnatcatcher and for the C Block. We'll be right back.